Okay, in lesson 3 we will be discussing intervals. Intervals, all that means is the distance between two notes. And I'll be using that occasionally in the lessons to help you learn some of the exercises. But let's say we have a middle C here. Okay, so I'm going to find C in the middle of the piano. If you're playing on a keyboard, the C is probably going to be more to the left instead of in the middle of your keyboard, unless you have a full-size keyboard. Anyway, find a C. And then let's go up. Remember, up on the board means to the right on the keyboard, on the piano. So C and a D together. So this is the note C, and then D is right next to it. Playing together. Now that's called a second. The distance from this C to the D is called a second. So if I say, and we'll go up a second, or whatever, you'll know it just means to the very next letter, from a C to a D. Alright, now if we're on still a C, and I say go up a third, then you'll go from a C to an E. Okay, so it includes all the notes. If I count C and I go 1, 2, 3, C to E is a third. So there's a third, and thirds have a nice sound to them. Seconds are dissonant. They sound kind of at unrest. Okay, and it doesn't have to just be from a C. I could go from a G to an A. As long as it's the very next letter, then it's a second. So C to D is a second, C to E is a third. Now the next one's a fourth, C to F. Now fourth kind of has an open sound to it, and the fifth will as well. But C to F is a fourth. If you count all the notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, C to E, F, that makes a fourth. So say up a fourth from a C, then you'll know to go this far. You want to get used to that feel in your hand of a fourth. Alright, next we have a fifth. A C to a G is a fifth. It also has kind of an open sound to it. So C to G is a fifth. Now I'm going to go from a C to an A, and that'll be a sixth. And sixths are, they sound kind of consonant. They have a nice sound to them just like the third. So C to A is a sixth, and you want to get used to that feel in your right hand from a C to an A, a sixth. And then we want to do a seventh. Sevenths are really dissonant. Listen to this. C to B, 7 notes away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 if we count them all. Here the dissonance really doesn't go together at all. And sevenths can be actually quite beautiful if they're used in the right context. So C to B is a seventh. And then if we go one more, we go from a C to a C, which is an octave. Which octave just means an eighth. So C to C is an octave. And you really won't go any farther than that. I probably won't use any ninths or tenths, because usually piano music won't go that far, because most people's hands are just stretching already at the limit at an octave. So C to a C is an octave. And the point of this lesson is get used to the feel of the different intervals. So seconds, you want to get used to that feel between two consecutive white keys thirds. You know, you can just play some thirds, get used to that. Fourths, the same thing. And fifths. And sixths, and finally sevenths, and then octaves. Alright, and then we can proceed to lesson 4.